Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin joining us on a Monday morning. Good morning, Mike. Had a great weekend, man. How was yours?
Well, weird. Honestly, strange. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, how weird is baseball? I mean, okay, Texas wins the SEC in their first year in the SEC, and they're all happy about that. What does that mean right now? But it's gone. Vanderbilt wins the SEC tournament. They get the number one national seed, gone. It just out. I remember talking last week about how if Arkansas advanced to Omaha, they could be looking at 5 SEC teams on their side of the back bracket, and there could be 5 on the other side. Well, 3 are gone and 2 more might be, and right now we only know that 1 is in for sure on the other side. So, and what if neither one of them get there? I mean, the SEC took a hit, guys, and it's probably not going to happen. But after all this talk about the SEC dominates, and it's not just, this has been going on in football, it went on in basketball with all this talk about how good they were, and then you get to postseason play, and all of a sudden, it starts looking a little iffy.
Well, basketball, the SEC actually, I thought, competed very well for the number of teams that got in. Things changed for football. Obviously, haven't won a national title for a couple of years. Do you think that what we've seen in the tournament in these regionals this past weekend is indicative of the SEC just falling, or is it just one bad weekend?
I just think anything can happen in baseball. That's what I think. I don't think this means Texas is not good. I don't think this means Vanderbilt's not good. It just, you have to do the right things at the right time. And when we're talking about Arkansas, we looked at that regional last week, and it was like, well, this could be kind of scary, and I think some of that was just knowing what had happened the last 2 years. But honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of drama to this thing. I mean, they just went about their business. The closest game turned out to be the North Dakota State game. They got better pitching than I think anyone could have hoped for. I do think the week off helped. Just playing in that one game in the SEC tournament and resting all the rest of your pitching staff, I think that helped. But they had to respond at the plate, too. That's what I said last week. This team has kind of had a thing where, okay, we pitched well this week. Oh, but we didn't hit that well. And then it reverses or whatever. You got to do both from here on out. And at least in the regional, I thought they did both.
Yeah, I thought they did, too. And what I thought I saw this weekend was a team that was playing at their best. You got really good starting pitching. You got relievers that were throwing a ton of strikes, overpowering quality strikes. Guys put together really good at-bats, 1 through 9 in the order. They made the plays in the field. I mean, what you saw was a team that played at a championship level. The secret sauce is how do you keep playing at that level? You're talking about Vanderbilt was playing at a really high level, and then they end up falling out of bed over the weekend. You just never know when those things can happen.
Well, there's just so many things about, I go back to that 4th inning with Gage Wood, and he was rolling, and then all of a sudden, he thinks he's got a strikeout to end it, and then he gives up that base hit, and then he plunks a batter. And I'm sitting there thinking, you got to pull him. And he's up to 60 pitches. And then he gives up this home run, and I'm sure half the fan base was thinking, DVH has done it again, left the guy in too long. And what does he do? He pitches 2 more innings, goes up to 89 pitches, and retires all 6 guys. And now all of that's changed because now Gage Wood is not a 60-pitch guy. Now when you need him to really be able to go 89, 90 pitches, 100 pitches or whatever, he's proven he can do that. So, what could have been a disaster and everybody's second-guessing DVH, now it looks like, wow, he really knew what he was doing. That's just baseball. It goes like that. I mean, I was sitting there watching a game with a guy that's really down on Beaver Loy because he says, man, every time the bases are loaded, every time he gets up there and he does this or that. And I think it was the first Creighton game. And then he hits the first of 2 home runs, ends up with 5 RBI in that game. And you think he's just swinging for the fences too much. You don't want him up to the plate when the bases are loaded. Men are on second and third, and then boom, there it goes. It just changes all the time.
I think a huge aspect to why the team came on. And look, those last 3 weeks in the regular season, you go 6-3 against those teams, even though they lost a series at LSU. 6-3 against those three teams, I think, was impressive. And a huge aspect of that and a huge aspect of this weekend is Ryder Helfrich's hitting. When you have a catcher, who is good defensively, and there's room for improvement with Ryder, but he's really athletic. His throws were on the money this week, and obviously he works with the pitching staff really well. But when your catcher is a threat at the plate, and he's moved all the way from 8th in the batting order to cleanup right now, I mean, now you're talking about something different. When you have threats at the plate, up the middle, catcher, second base, shortstop, center field, and they have it. That's a separator, Mike.
Yeah, he ended up being the MVP of the regional for a reason. And if I look up and down that lineup, I don't look and say, man, that guy didn't have a good weekend. They just all kind of contributed. Maybe not all in every game, but you had balance. You had good pitching. I mean, that pitching job last night was amazing with those two guys. I mean, they struck out 20 and walked nobody. Nobody. Wow, that's unbelievable. So, again, you keep that up, you're going places. You could win it all. I mean, there's a reason why it's really strange to listen to all these national analysts who I'm used to kind of them disrespecting Arkansas a little bit. And I keep hearing over and over again, they had the best shot of winning it all. And I think they're looking at all these things. They're looking at the pitching and the hitting and the defense and saying, this is a complete team. So, yeah, maybe this is it, guys. Maybe this is the year.
Maybe so. Mike, one of the things I noticed you ever go watch a high school game and see the varsity play the JV and just notice how much bigger the other players are? We look like we've been in college off-season workout. I mean, our baseball team, we look bigger. We look stronger than the other teams we play.
Yeah, especially even when he stands up there, my goodness, the guy looks like a linebacker. But you're right. I mean, they're just physically Arkansas. This is Dave Van Horn's recruiting, and this is the development. They had that development center over there, and they use it. There's always something that can go wrong, but they're on the right track right now. And as frustrating as it's been over the last several years with Dave Van Horn having that label as being a guy that can't win the big one, this may be it, guys. I don't want to jinx them, but they're looking pretty good right now to me.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online, the game starts here.